Hello everyone, today we're talking about something that a lot of guys struggle with in the gym, and that is the flat chest, also called pancake pecs. If you've ever looked in the mirror after months of training and wondered why your chest still looks small, flat, or lacking shape, then this video is for you. We're going to break down exactly why it happens, what mistakes people usually make, and most importantly, the step-by-step ways to fix it so you can actually build that full, thick, rounded chest you've always wanted. The first thing we need to understand is that having a flat chest doesn't mean you're not training hard. Most people who complain about pancake pecs are already lifting weights, doing their bench press, push-ups, and chest exercises. The issue isn't effort. The issue is usually about exercise selection, form, training angles, and progression. So if you feel stuck, don't beat yourself up. It's a common problem and it's completely fixable. A flat chest usually happens because the chest is a large muscle group with multiple sections. You have the upper chest, the middle chest, and the lower chest, and all of them need to be developed to create that full, rounded appearance. Most beginners and even a lot of intermediate lifters focus almost entirely on the flat bench press or push-ups, which mainly build the middle chest. The result is that the upper chest is underdeveloped, and the chest looks flat instead of having that lifted, sculpted look. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes, relying only on the flat bench press. Don't get me wrong, the flat barbell bench press is a great exercise, but if it's the only chest exercise you do, you'll never maximize your chest growth. The flat bench is dominated by the front delts and triceps, and unless you're focusing on mind-muscle connection, a lot of the stress gets stolen away from the pecs. That's why many people bench heavy for years and still don't see chest thickness. If your goal is chest development, you need variety and precision, not just heavy pressing. One of the best fixes for flat pecs is prioritizing the incline bench press. The incline bench targets the upper chest, which is the area most people lack. By building the upper pecs, your chest gets that lifted look that makes it pop even in a t-shirt. The incline barbell or dumbbell press should be a staple in your program. Dumbbells are especially good because they allow for a greater range of motion and better contraction at the top. Start your chest workouts with an incline movement, not a flat bench, and you'll notice changes faster than you think. Another key mistake is neglecting fly movements. Pressing exercises build strength and mass, but flies are what carve out the shape. They stretch the pecs under load and create that wide, rounded look across the chest. Dumbbell flies on a flat or inclined bench are classic choices. Cable flies are even better because they keep constant tension throughout the movement. The important thing with flies is to go light, focus on the stretch and squeeze, and not turn them into another press. When done correctly, they'll fill out your chest in a way presses alone cannot. Form is another huge factor. Many people press the weight up, but don't actually contract their pecs. Instead, they rely on their shoulders and triceps to push the bar. To fix this, you need to focus on squeezing your chest through every rep. Think of bringing your biceps together at the top, not just moving the bar up and down. Keep your shoulder blades pulled back and down, arch your back slightly, and drive the weight with your pecs. That small adjustment can completely change the way your chest feels during training. Now let's talk about volume and frequency. If you're only training chest once a week, that might not be enough stimulus, especially if it's a weak point for you. Hitting chest twice a week with proper recovery can make a huge difference. For example, you could train chest on Monday and then again on Thursday or Friday. On one day, focus more on heavy presses and strength. On the other, focus on lighter, higher rep isolation movements and angles. That balance gives your chest both the mechanical tension and metabolic stress it needs to grow. Progressive overload is another critical piece. If you've been benching the same weight for months, your chest isn't going to grow. You need to consistently challenge the muscle by increasing the weight, reps, or sets over time. But remember, it's not just about piling on more plates. If heavier weights make your form sloppy and shift the tension away from your pecs, it defeats the purpose. The key is to get stronger while maintaining perfect chest-focused technique. Let's also address body fat levels. Sometimes people think they have a flat chest when in reality, their chest muscles are hidden under a layer of fat. You could have muscle there, but if you're carrying too much body fat, the definition and fullness won't show. In that case, dialing in your nutrition and leaning down a bit can reveal the shape of your chest that you've already built. On the flip side, if you're very lean but your chest looks flat, then you know the issue is lack of muscle development, not fat. A lot of people overlook dips, but dips are an incredible exercise for chest growth, especially when you lean forward slightly. They target the lower chest and help give that full, thick look to the bottom portion of your pecs. If regular bodyweight dips are too easy, you can add weight with a dip belt. If they're too hard, start with assisted dips or even machine dips. The important thing is to keep the movement controlled and really emphasize the chest rather than just the triceps. Another mistake people make is training chest without enough variation in angles. The chest fibers run in different directions, so you need to hit them from multiple angles to maximize development. That means incorporating incline, flat, and decline movements into your routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even small changes, like adjusting the bench to a slight incline instead of a steep one, can make a big difference in which part of the chest is being targeted. Don't forget about push-ups. They might seem basic, but when done correctly and with variations, push-ups can be an amazing chest builder. You can do weighted push-ups with a plate on your back, incline push-ups to hit the lower chest, or decline push-ups to target the upper chest. The great thing about push-ups is that they also help improve stability and endurance, which carry over into your pressing movements. Muscle connection can't be stressed enough. If you're just going through the motions and moving weights from point A to point B, your chest won't grow the way you want it to. You need to feel every rep in your pecs, slow down the negative, pause at the bottom, and really squeeze at the top. Sometimes lowering the weight and focusing on quality, reps instead of ego lifting, is the fastest way to build a chest that actually looks impressive. Rest and recovery are also part of the equation. If you're training chest hard, you need to give it time to grow. Growth doesn't happen in the gym, it happens when you rest, eat, and recover. Make sure you're getting enough protein, staying hydrated, and sleeping well. Without recovery, all the training in the world won't give you the results you're after. Another thing to keep in mind is patience. Building a full, round chest doesn't happen overnight. It takes months of consistent, focused training. But the good news is that if you're applying the right strategies, you'll start to notice changes relatively quickly. Your upper chest will begin to fill out, your pecs will feel thicker, and you'll finally see the shape you've been chasing. Let's quickly go over a sample routine you could follow. Start with incline dumbbell press for 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Then move to flat barbell press for 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Follow that with cable flies for 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Add in dips for 3 sets to failure, and finish with push-ups as a burnout. That's a solid chest workout that hits all areas and gives you the strength, size, and shape you want. You don't have to do that exact routine forever. Rotate exercises every few weeks, adjust the order, or change the rep ranges. The important part is to make sure your chest training is balanced, progressive, and focused on the actual pecs rather than letting stronger muscles take over. Now, I want to address one more thing that often gets overlooked, and that's posture. If you have rounded shoulders or a hunched posture, your chest will automatically look smaller and flatter. Working on your back, rear delts, and posture can actually improve the way your chest looks, even without adding more muscle. When you stand tall with your shoulders pulled back, your pecs naturally look fuller and more pronounced. So to wrap this up, fixing pancake pecs is about more than just lifting heavier on the flat bench. It's about training smart, hitting all areas of the chest, using proper form, applying progressive overload, and being consistent over time. Focus on incline movements for the upper chest, use flies for shape, include dips for lower pec thickness, and never forget the power of mind-muscle connection. Train your chest at least twice a week, recover properly, and give it time. If you apply everything we talked about today, I promise your chest won't stay flat for long. You'll start to see real progress, your shirts will fit better, and you'll finally have the kind of chest development that stands out. Stick with it, stay consistent, and keep training smart.